Welcome, Leo, to your Chiron into Taurus 50-year return, 3-month forecast for the ascendant, the sun, or the moon. On June the 19th through to September the 18th, Chiron, the so-called wounded healer, makes an initial visit to the earthy, practical Taurus. It's the first time it's restarting this journey since 1977. It last was in the sign of Taurus in 1984. So it's a really major event. We can talk about Chiron in Taurus generally, but what will it mean for you personally, Leo? On the screen is the event chart, the exact moment that Chiron arrives. I'm going to unpack that for you from a Leo perspective. And at the end of the forecast, you'll have a clearer picture of what's upcoming in terms of your energy, work, relationships, or finances. I'm astrologer Patrick Arundell. A very warm welcome. If you've yet to subscribe to my channel, please do so now to help it to continue to thrive. But please also click or tap the bell notification symbol. So Chiron in mythology was the trainer of the gods in the arts of combat, but also all about herbalism and also astrology. So if you like, thinking about a modern life coach, but in that much more mythological setting. So really very intriguing influence. It also has a very unusual orbit, the longest through the sign of Aries, which it's making its brief exit from, will return there in the middle of September, but come back into Taurus next April for 7 years. It moved into Aries in February 2019. And for you, it's been pushing you to work at your belief around your knowledge, your worldview, opening things out, having more confidence about those, and also travel. Moving into the sign of Taurus for you is house 10, your connection to the world at large. But for me, in a natal chart, and your natal Chiron may not be in Taurus, it's very much our superpower, depending on what house it's in, but also what other planets apply to it. And that superpower can be where we take on the mantle of the life coach. We encourage people. We have a particular appreciation of that part of life, but we don't get anything back for it. We don't get recognized or appreciated for where we provide the most support. And I think some people say we can never heal the wound, but I think the best way to deal with Chiron is actually to accept the wound, accept that's the karma of our life, but keep giving, and then some of the more negative energies can start to ease away. That's my personal view. But some people feel that Chiron does work at a physical level too, particularly when Saturn and Pluto are in aspect to it. But what will it mean, Chiron in Taurus? Well, Taurus is very much about self-worth, values, can be about money, and it can be about possessions, but it's right at the top of your chart. So it's your connection to the world. So if you felt, particularly with Uranus moving through the 10th house over the last 7 years, that there isn't something that you've achieved professionally or in terms of recognition, Chiron's asking you to work in that area over these next 3 months. But Chiron also is representative of the two rulers of Aquarius. So Saturn, very much about being thorough, authoritative, wise, hardworking, and disciplined, but Uranus very progressive and open to different ways of doing things. And in my opinion, Uranus also rules astrology. So that 10th house energy, could you ask yourself this question? Do you feel that you've ever, not necessarily in a professional context, got the praise for your talents that you feel you truly deserve? Or are you wanting to actually move into a leadership role and you're up for that, but maybe have been a bit tentative? Or maybe there have been some disruptive events over the last 7 years with Uranus going through this prominent part of your chart that you're actually quite wounded by. Chiron gives you the chance to work on that. And Chiron forges a brilliant link to the moon at the moment it arrives. And there's the moon in the practical, earthy Virgo for you in your second house, which is very Taurus energy about self-worth, values, and foundations. So that's very enabling to Chiron. I really like that for you. We also have Chiron forging a brilliant link to the North Node. So if you wanted to trust your instincts in terms of the processes, the North Node through to the end of April, the true North Node, can support you to gain greater recognition, but also improve your earnings or your sense of self-worth or your connection to others, where others appreciate your value in a way which gives you an increase or you get the job you truly deserve. And what helps you enormously on this unique event is that Mars, the planet of ambition, in the 10th house of your chart, but very much to do with determination, grit, assertion, and authority, but very powerful in the 10th house, is forging an awesome link to Mercury and Jupiter, which are just tucked up in a more psychological part of your chart for sure. But I feel Mars there suggests subtlety, but deep research and your ability to work with people, sometimes behind the scenes in a way which has a more visible outcome, can also be helpful to you. Are there challenges on this event? Well, Uranus, which had been in Taurus, is in a clash with the moon. So that's saying that what could show up is where your values don't align with whoever you're trying to work with, particularly if you work in technology. But if you do work in technology and you're open to progressing, taking on a bigger mantle, Uranus is linked to Pluto, but also Venus in your zodiac sign, suggests your personality power and your charisma, often your greatest gift, can be amplified through this event in a very, very helpful way. Also, as far as relationships are concerned for you, at the exact moment that Chiron moves into that 10th house, Venus is in an opposition with Pluto, but linking magically to Neptune. So if there is someone you're attracted to, and perhaps the issue is more about the confidence to make that move, having Mars and Chiron in that visible location, but the moon supportive of Chiron and Mars supportive too, I think it's a good time for you to go for it. I'm going to summarize those four areas of energy, work, relationships, and finances next, Leo. But just to say, you can download your free Chiron factoid. It'll tell you all about the mythology, also more about Chiron in each of the 12 zodiac signs, but also each of the 12 houses. And that's totally free. Please see that below. If you have yet to watch your June monthly forecast, that's on the screen. Your June moon magic forecast, which looks at the month in terms of the lunar perspective, so something really quite different on the screen. And just to say, you can order your personal horoscope reports now. I've reduced the price. It used to be 30% off for 2 charts for many years. It's now buy one, get 3. Why? Because of the cost of living going up. And I'm trying to help. The one you pay for is your life roadmap report. And that helps us to understand the patterns that play out in our lives better. And the ones you get free is it's your 12 months transit, but also your draconic soul karmic analysis, which helps us to look at astrology, life, and ourselves in a very different and potentially profound way. Please see the link below for more. If you'd like to work with me one-to-one, please check out my testimonials below. And if you've yet to sign up for your free daily written horoscope fired to your device each morning, you can do so below too. So to summarize, as far as energy is concerned, if you work in an environment where you don't feel very appreciated, but you're expected to take on a lot of demands, I think that could be very wearing for you. So you're being asked in a way to have the confidence to break the fear of taking on a challenge with anyone who is authoritative. So if you do work with someone who's a bit of a micromanager, perhaps even slightly on the bullying side, Chiron's asking you to have the courage to step into your power and say how you feel. And that can be very energizing. But it is true, I feel, that because of Mercury and Jupiter being in your 12th house, you are likely to feel quite sensitive over the next few months. But if you work in an environment which is much more inclusive and you're recognized and valued for what you do, I don't feel that uh, challenge to your physical and emotional energy will be as strong at all. In terms of that professional situation, Mars really is the ace in the pack. But Chiron suggests if in the past you have a bad experience at work or a difficult person to work with, which I think many of us have, try to dust yourself down and go again because you have got rich potential to raise your profile. Particularly, as I mentioned before, if you do work in technology or part of a team, Uranus in that fabulous link to Pluto, but also in a great link to Venus. Venus can be your great gift on this particular event because even if there are difficult conversations you need to have, the chances are you can find just the right words to articulate what you need. So I think professionally, it depends on your situation, but it does look mainly very bright. As far as finances are concerned, because of Chiron linking well to the nodal axis, but Uranus clashing with them in a T square, if you are wanting to break away from something you have done because you're not happy there, then maybe yes, there could be a short-term period where it doesn't feel quite as reassuring. But I think generally your finances can continue to improve if you're in tune with what you're really wanting to do and you're working somewhere or for yourself where your soul is really truly in it. However, in terms of romantic potential, someone in your social circle could call out to you. It could be through travel, but I think a dazzling connection is possible over the next 3 months. But just don't be surprised if you do meet someone at work or from a different age group to you. It's been a real pleasure being with you, Leo. All the best. Take care and bye for now.